My name's Dr.Kat. I'm a pediatric and prenatal chiropractic, mostly holistic mama of two boys, and a functional med practitioner. And today I'm going to be talking a little bit about the back to school brain and your kiddos. So let me ask you a question. Do you sometimes feel like maybe your kids are acting out, but you can't really figure out why? I mean, hopefully I'm not alone on this front, right? Maybe homework time arrives and they're like exhausted and it's like a free-for-all of like just maniacal energy. Or maybe your child's fighting you before getting on the bus. Does any of that happen? Can you let me know if that happens to any of you guys? So you probably have tried like logic and reasoning because, maybe you've even been told by a well-meaning friend, parent, or maybe even a grandparent that, you're just not maybe parenting them well. Maybe you're questioning your parenting skills. Maybe, I don't know, maybe you're questioning if you're doing any of this right? Well, we all feel like this at some point, so don't feel like alone or anything during this parenthood journey. But what's really going on? What is your child trying to tell you with their behavior? So the bottom line is that their brain is probably in some way, shape, or form on overload. And they're using like a variety of different coping mechanisms and adaptive behaviors to compensate for what's going on in their neurophysiology, like what's going on deficit-wise, like are they depleted somewhere or tapped out somewhere else. So they might be feeling actually a bit threatened and inadequate in some way, shape, or form by the environments or with certain activities. The normal human response to being threatened, just in case you didn't know, is if a Bengal tiger is chasing you or a shark, is to run, hide, or avoid the threat. This is basically usually called fight or flight by Hans Selye, okay? When this happens, there's absolutely no way that your brain's gonna listen to reason and to logic, and it's trying to tell your child to run and get away. So we have to think about what are the few things that could be helpful here, okay? Number one is to know what your child's triggers are. Like for instance, my kids' triggers would be insufficient amount of sleep, and even though we're gluten-free and dairy-free and they're adjusted and activated and all that stuff, if we give them too much sugar, because sometimes we are realists and we give them sugar, they become a nightmare. So know your child's triggers and then understand that their behaviors are basically a cry for help. The next thing you need to do is to help decompress your child's system and build strong neurological pathways. We can do that with like neuroplasticity. We're all neuroplastic beings, okay? So if you want to learn more about how you can help your child cope and make life easier for all of you, I have a separate group where I talk about biohacking your brain and your kid's brain, and I'll be talking about a variety of topics on this subject, and I'll be walking you through some different processes, like how the brain processes sensory information, why it gets overloaded, and what you can do to help you, your child, yourself, your friends, your family, but mostly putting on your oxygen mask for yourself and your child to help yourselves.